It's actually kind of weird. Hey, everybody, we're just doing the pre-show. It's kind of weird. Adam and I were talking about how awesome of a dad I am, and it happens to be Father's Day. So, happy Father's Day. I think I'm the only.
Yeah.
Do you guys lie to each other all the time when you're
We
talking to
do.
each other?
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
But yeah, happy Father's Day, Gomer, for real.
Hey, thanks, man. It's a pretty
being
easy
that you are
gig.
the only father on this podcast.
It's a really easy gig. All I did was lay there.
That's a bad joke.
It is. I use it all the time.
It's a bad sex
terrible, terrible, terrible joke. I'm just sharing out the show. Quick update: we are not going to have a show mañana, our typical preview show that we do every week. That is so much fun. My favorite show.
Sorry, Jules.
Sorry.
Yeah. Jules could hop in here. That motherfucker. I sent the link to the bullies too, but man, they're so busy. I mean, you know they're busy when they do their show at midnight. You know what I mean?
Well, that's their normal time.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Ugh, gosh.
Well, they got a lot of
Night
different
owls.
time zones to consider, right?
No, they're all
They're
in
in Central,
time.
aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both in Central.
I thought Eli was like farther out west.
No, he's in Twin Cities.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Up there, Prince country. But what's up, gentlemen?
Oh,
So we're not doing a show
Not
tomorrow.
much.
That's all I got for that. We'll do a top five. Geez, at some point, I don't know. You know, as long as it took us to get into like the COVID like downswing, you know what I mean? Man, once it's hit, everybody's out. Everybody is out. I talked to a buddy
Pretty
of mine. I
much.
was like, "Hey, man, how's it going? I was wondering if you were going to do like your football podcast." He's like, "Dude, I'm in the Virgin Islands. Sorry, I can't really talk." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "How the hell did you get there?" He's like, "Man, we had to take like 3 different flights because of different restrictions, but we did get here."
I swam here, asshole.
Yeah, right. And I think that you joke about swimming, man. I think people would nowadays. People are just so antsy
Probably.
to get out.
Well,
I mean, and that's why we're not doing the show tomorrow because
some people like swim all the way from Cuba to here, and that's the shortest possible distance I think you could be swimming. But even that's a pretty hard task, it seems. So.
through
And
shark.
some people swing the English Channel for just sport.
Well, that's stupid. I mean, people from Cuba I can respect. You know, they're like, you know, trying to like, you know, flee their country. But
What the
people
hell
who
you
do
live
the
in
English
France?
Channel,
What
yeah, I
the
mean,
hell you fleeing France for? I mean, where are you?
They're not
going?
fleeing France. They're swimming.
They're doing it for fun.
they're just bored
Is it-
assholes. Who cares about them?
I mean,
Exactly.
the English Channel is between the
England
UK
and
island
France.
and France, right, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to stick to dinosaurs, Dave.
Dave, you
Oh,
ignorant
stick
slut.
to dinosaurs. Jane, you ignorant slut.
Okay, so yeah, and we'll do a top 5 at some point. Segment 1, I did watch a movie that I'll mention, but really it's just been Deep Space Nine and In the Heights. I must have watched In the Heights like a dozen times this week, man. I love it. I mean, it's a musical, so it's basically just like playing a radio in the background while I'm cleaning, and, you know, doing other shit. But
Still, man, you got an addiction.
it is music. I think does that. It does.
He's got an
it gets
addiction
in
to-
there and.
To the musicals, yes.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's an addiction to musicals. I enjoy musicals, but I don't know, man. That music, when it's telling a story, it just hits harder. You know, it's like Billy Joel. You know, all his songs tell a story. You know, so musicals,
We didn't start the fire.
Yeah, that's not really a story.
Damn it,
That's
Dave.
That
his
is a story.
That's
That
his
is
story.
a story.
Man, that's my favorite rap song. We didn't start the fire.
That is a story because the origin of that song came
Oh,
from when
well,
a man
God.
younger than Billy Joe
God.
said that
Oh no!
that we got a lot of shit that we're dealing with, and Billy Joe basically created
Remember
a
when we
song
said stick to
sounding off.
dinosaurs?
Yeah,
Oh
you can be
gosh!
an old man. Nick Spencer's off Spider-Man. We will celebrate. Dark
Thank
Ages was
gosh!
announced.
Woo.
The new Miss Marvel series was announced. DC Connect
good.
is back. So that's just really quick hits. There's not much we can add there except, you know, oh, I'm excited for that. Oh, I don't give a shit. But we will
Wow.
celebrate Nick Spencer being off Spider-Man. And then it's, man, Hellfire Gala. I mean, a mutant gave birth to an entire space station, and people are like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing I've ever read. And I agree with them. So we're going to talk about that.
That's
And
one of those great out of context comic
I
moments.
know,
that makes you- the reason why we read them, honestly. Is
I
like,
know.
I'm a having a baby.
Oh space station.
I'm having a dinner, baby.
But New Mutants and X Corp, of course, because they're part of it. We'll preview Sword and Way of X a little bit. Man, the tie-ins for the Hellfire Gala outside of Planet were, I mean, there's nothing was going to compete, but I don't know. They were kind of subpar.
Yeah, they were mediocre. But
Yeah. Heroes Reborn technically wraps with a bookend issue still dropping next week. We'll talk about all of those. And Loki.
yeah.
And Loki. Man,
And
did I even get any
Godzilla
of the...
Singular Point, man? I want to
don't
see
even-
this.
I don't even think I got my Loki image up. Let me go find it. We also got food news. That's going to be fun. And then A Moment of Destruction, TF Escape. Man, that is going to be a quick review.
Yeah,
Oh
well.
my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh,
Oh.
nothing happened.
Garbage.
I found Cyclonus this weekend.
Oh, the
Oh,
Earth,
did you? That's cool.
I found an Earthrise
Which one?
Cyclonus.
Yeah, Earthrise. That's what I thought. Awesome. Very good. So, yeah, and there's not really much to talk about in Loki. I mean, it was a great episode, but
Hey,
Yeah.
we got a
Not
girl.
really.
Loki.
a
Got
lot.
female Loki.
what happened. Yeah, I mean, that's the only.
That's really
thing.
about the. That's
I
the big
called
thing.
that last week.
Oh, everybody was
I
talking
mean,
about that.
it's not
It was-
calling as much as
Yeah.
like one of the obvious things that could have happened.
Yeah, it was like the
Yeah.
worst kept secret in the MCU. But also on Loki, you guys try to remind me. I guess I could just put it in my notes. Maybe that's why the Eternals trailer was so lame. Maybe that's why they weren't helping out at the Battle of New York and the Battle of Wakanda and the Battle of Avengers headquarters. Because they weren't, it's a different universe.
Different
Bum, bum, bum.
timeline.
I know
That-
it's so hard to
Yeah.
speculate, but these shows make you want to speculate. At
That'll
least
pan
WandaVision
out.
did.
I fear people are going into the multiverse trap yet again. They need to wait to see how this pans out before they are all like, the multiverse is here, guys.
Well,
Which,
well.
better
to be
reason to
fair-
think it this
To be
time.
fair, this show has been blatantly about
mean,
the multiverse.
Yes.
Yes.
You say that, and I tend to agree with you. People should not get carried away. But, dude, I mean, I just uploaded the image. And, again, we're going to talk about Loki, as in-depth as we can. But how can you see this and not be like, oh, my God, they're doing it. They're doing it.
That dude.
And we'll talk about top three, which, I mean, number one was easy for me this week, but there were some good books. It was hard to fill out the roster. So, is there anything else we want to add to this?
Nah, man, I think that's a full
We
play.
couldn't even if we
Yeah.
wanted to. Yeah, there's no
What
room
about
for more
we
stuff.
don't talk about Batman? Still Batman and
No.
No,
We talked
well,
about
we-
that
are we
in
talking
Top
about-
Five
last
today,
week?
Yeah.
That's
Are we
my
talking
favorite.
about? Are we talking about the news of Batman made this week regarding Harley Quinn show?
yeah.
Yes.
Ah,
See, David didn't get to talk about it. David wasn't here on the
And
previous
he's
show.
not going to get to now. Let's move on.
Let's do the intro. Father's Day intro.
I am the Dark Knight, and I'm going to bring justice to that ass.
Dad? I'm only here to amuse David. As long as Dave's entertained, it's been a successful show. I don't care who watches. I don't care about. I don't care about.
How
Adam
can you not
Taylor.
love that laugh?
I do. Greetings, geeks. Welcome back to another episode of This Geek in Comics, our Geekers comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk
Shit talk
show.
You guys are getting good at harmonizing with that.
Oh, hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Segment one. How's everybody's week? How did everything go?
I went to Nashville for the first time in over a year.
Oh my gosh!
Oh
Like
man.
the Wizard of Oz.
I had
traveling to the city.
I had an issue with my phone, and I had to go to the Apple store.
Oh,
And it was the
nice.
first time I had been to downtown Nashville, and like before COVID hit.
Well, how was
Man.
it?
Packed.
It is, yeah, dude.
COVID's
honestly,
over, man.
it was packed while COVID was going on.
It
so
was,
I
it
mean,
was.
it
It
hasn't
never
really
stopped.
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's nice. I watched, like I said previously, mostly I've been rewatching Deep Space Nine, which man, it's
What
so
season
good.
are you on?
3, where it's really good.
Where
It's
like
really
they
good.
finally introduced Jemadar?
Well,
and the
no, they
Dominion?
introduced the Jemadar like at the end of season 2, but then season 3 they introduced the Defiant, and then they go to like the Founder's homeworld, and Odo finds out he's a founder.
A changeling found.
Yeah, I love that. And In the Heights. I've been watching the hell out of In the Heights. But I watched Luca on Disney Plus.
I watched Luca as well.
It's
How
not
was
bad.
that?
It's one
Is
of the
this-
lower tier Pixar movies, I
mean,
would say, but it was
Every
great.
Pixar
Did
movie
you have to
is
pay
good.
extra for
Yeah.
this?
No, this was
No,
not
it's just on Disney Plus.
Really? Okay, I might check it out this
You
week.
should. It's great.
Do you really
animation.
think either of us would have shelled out $30 to watch
Yeah,
this?
not
Think
for
before you
Gomer.
guys-
Not for
Then. Definitely
Luca.
not Gomer.
Now I might for Black Widow. You know, because it's cheaper for me to do that, pay $30, than it is to take my entire family to the movies. And I got a big TV, you know, and I can pause it and go to the
That's
can.
the justification
Yeah, that makes sense.
they use for the price point is that it is cheaper than
I
taking
can-
an entire family.
Yeah.
You can sneak in any kind of snack you want to your living room.
And I can let you guys borrow my password, and we can all watch it. Anyway, I do not condone
Well, anyway,
that.
Luca
Luca.
it was a fun movie. I like the aesthetic. It was a charming little movie, you know, coming of age story. I did like the sort of feel like the kids felt like kids, and I think that's always a good thing to have in a movie.
That is what's in my notes. This is like a great Father's Day sort of release because the kids feel like just normal kids, not like I don't know some adult's idea of kids or some overly childish kid. They got like real kid problems, you know, that are important but are like still kid problems, you know. The parents are and that was the only part that I didn't really like. The parents come off as idiots in this, and I guess it's supposed to be that way.
They're the
but
comic relief.
I did not like that at all, man. I mean, they're great. They're great characters. You know, they support their kid, you know, after all the fear and everything is washed away. But, I had a problem with them just being dumbasses.
They were just there to fill out the runtime, you know? They were there to give like a break between like the different scenes that the kids were going through. So they served their purpose, but they were pretty stupid. Yeah.
Yeah,
So they're basically like the parents from Goonies.
Yeah, exactly. But parents in the Goonies, those were actually parents in the 80s. All right, they didn't give a shit about their kid when the streetlights come on, be home. But that wasn't Luca's parents. They were like searching for him the whole time and like couldn't find him, and it's like right there, you know. Anyway.
Well, I mean, they didn't know what he looked like on the surface, so there's a plausible explanation, even if it is a bit kind of tedious.
Sure, but if we're ranking all of the Pixar movies, and Pixar is just kind of like Marvel, you know, there's not a bad Pixar movie.
Their bad ones are better than most other movies for sure.
Exactly. What is it? Ants, Bugs Life. Brave.
Cars 2.
I like the Cars movies. That's just me, but I think the Cars movies are rad, dude. I think those are
the
really
first
cool.
Cars movie is great. The second Cars
that's
movie
my
is
least favorite one. To be honest,
Cars 2 is actually a decent James Bond spoof.
Right.
But yeah, you guys have rattled off some of the ones that are considered to be the quote unquote worst Pixar movies, and I would say that this is definitely a step up from those. It's fairly solidly in the mid tier for me. I would say.
Yeah, it's like Monsters U. You know, for me. None of the Toy Story, all the Toy Stories are way above this. Way above.
I like this better than 4, I'll say that. But
you know what? I didn't even make it all the way through 4. Perfectly, total honesty.
They should have quit while they were ahead because 3 is by far the best movie they ever did.
Dude, remember this is years ago, we had a discussion about the best movie trilogies of all time. And of course, Lord of the Rings, but I made a really strong case for Toy Story to be one of the best trilogies of all time.
Very strong argument. It was until they came out with the fourth one.
Lord of the Rings, it was a planned trilogy. He had an idea going through. Despite the fact that Toy Story they were never expecting to do sequels. The first one, the second, 2 or 3, they still all just work so well together as a trilogy. I think it bumps it up there a little bit.
Especially the audience grew up at like the perfect pace with the movies. Where like they mentioned with the third one about like letting go of your childhood, about moving on from things, and like the people who were watching the first Toy Story movie when they were little kids, it came out with the perfect timing for that, and it really was masterfully done.
Yeah, I mean, with the exception of the opening scene and like the ending scenes to Up, man, the moment in Toy Story 3 where Homeboy's mom walks into his room and everything's cleared out, and all she does is drop her head and sigh, like, oh my gosh, dude, I just lose it every time. Waterworks. I mean, I can't help myself.
They know how to punch in the field.
Every
they
time.
are experts at that.
It's like E.T. when E.T. says, come, and Elliot says stay. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it now. E.T. That movie's like 50 fucking years old. I've seen it probably 1,000 times, and still every time, tear down my eye. All right, anyway. Anybody else do anything cool this week?
Nah, man. Let's just dig into it.
I also went in a sit-in restaurant too yesterday.
Oh my gosh!
Man, you're just breaking all your COVID thresholds this weekend.
Yeah, I did.
He's like just ticking them off, all the post-COVID.
Yesterday was.
I went to a major metropolitan area this week. I actually went with my dad's
restaurant. Yesterday was my dad's restaurant, so we took him out to eat.
That's
awesome. I resumed my favorite hobby of licking stairwell rails.
Yeah. I shook
mingling with the homeless
the other day. Yeah, I shook a man's hand the other day. No,
no more elbow bumps.
People still ain't doing that. I hope we get rid of the handshake. Okay, it's tradition. It's terrible.
Well, there are a lot of things about the pandemic that honestly should be more normalized moving forward, especially wearing a mask when you feel sick. If you got a cough, you got a cold or something, wear a fucking mask. I mean, that's really normal in a lot of other parts of the world already.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's why a lot of parts in Asia, they were able to nip this thing in the bud because they believe in
Barney Fife
science and shit. Let's do this. That's a great segment one. That can only mean terrible things for the rest of the show.
Oh, joy. I'm here. Let's do it.
We have already peaked.
Yeah, we've already peaked in the first 5 minutes. All right, Nick Spencer. His final issue of Amazing Spider-Man is number 70.
Thank
God. I don't even read Spider-Man.
That's why. That's why I don't read
now
Spider-Man.
You probably will. Or you might give it a chance.
Yeah, I don't wish ill on Nick Spencer as a person. And anyone who enjoyed this run, I'm glad for you.
Nick Spencer as a writer.
Yeah. I am excited, like Adam's saying, though. I can finally look forward to maybe reading the mainline Spider-Man book again.
Yeah, quick note. Nick Spencer is actually moving on to head up. I don't even know how to say this. Substack, okay?
Substack can't even bring himself to say it.
Substack is a company that helps creators and brands monetize newsletters. E-newsletters.
So he's not writing comics anymore.
He may still write comics. He's going over there to help them sort of branch into comic creators jumping on board the Substack thing, which I think that's a great idea. I get a lot of email newsletters I get Jason Aaron, Jeff Lemire's, I mean, a lot of indie guys. I get a lot. Like, Chip Zdarsky's got a great one. Chip Zdarsky's is awesome. And actually, that's who I think should take over. That was going to be my next question, you guys. Who
Chip Zdarsky would be great to take over
ASM.
I seem to remember reading some Spider-Man books of his in years past, and they were pretty good from what I remember.
He did that Life Story, didn't he? Did he do Spider-Man Life Story?
That might have been him.
I mean, he's already doing Daredevil, so why not?
He's doing that Venom Shadow book or whatever that's going on.
Shadow of the Symbiote.
Yeah, something like that.
What it's called?
I believe it's called that.
I don't know, a Shadow of the Spider or something, or Spider Shadow or something.
Either way.
Whatever.
But man, he's great. He's great. Nominated for a lot of Eisners. It's his year.
The name I was thinking when I heard the news was it'd be cool to see Tom Taylor come back and get the main Spider-Man book this time.
Yeah, in the context of how that goes, James Tynion did such a great job on Detective, and he helped out while Snyder was doing his run and everything. And I remember all of us, being cheerleaders for him. We really hope he gets the main Batman book. And now he's done, and we kind of crap on it. C'est la vie. That's how shit goes. But
I mean, there are no guarantees. That's
exactly.
True.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think Tom Taylor, his Nightwing issue this week was.
It was great. It was fantastic.
Great. Yeah, it's in my top 3.
Oh, yeah, it's not in my top 3. There was a lot this week, but it was great. And nice segue. Tom Taylor is getting a book at Marvel called Dark Ages. It's a 6-issue miniseries. Ivan Coelho. It's due out in September 2021.
What is this going to be about?
The world outside your window is about to end. This September, New York Times bestselling writer Tom Taylor, X-Men Red and All New Wolverine will team up with Marvel Stormbreaker artist Ivan Coelho, Venom, Black Knight, Curse of the Ebony Blade. 2 great books. I bit the bullet and did read Venom 200. For a thrilling new vision of Marvel Universe and Dark Ages, foreshadowed in last year's Free Comic Book Day, X-Men, and in today's series of teasers. We don't have the teasers. The teasers were basically just different parts of this. It's really kind of weak, man. As the world is remade,
it sounds very weak. The premise it does not sound great at all.
Okay,
yeah.
but
if this wasn't Tom Taylor, I probably would not have had this.
I would give this a light of day.
Now, I know you guys weren't reading Venom, and I know you guys didn't read Venom 200, and I'll get the image. There was a special guest who has been part of Venom and who has been teased so much in that book, and he has a plan that was laid out in Venom number 200.
Oh, the Maker. That's cool.
Let me go to my notes just so I get this shit right, because this is one of my honorable mentions, because this was the only fucking cool part. All right, Venom 35, but also somehow number 200 because of legacy numbering. It was Donny Cates, Philip Kennedy Johnson, a whole bunch of artists. All right, there's a series of pages where Eddie, because he has the power of Null now, he can basically just possess a symbiote, and anywhere there's a symbiote, he can literally be there. Okay, so it has this great little sequence where he's at the Quiet Council talking to the X-Men. He's with the Avengers. He's with the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's with Silver Surfer. And he's all telling them this story about how the Maker went to the Council of Reeds after stealing his own symbiote and using it so that he can travel between dimensions. And he said the Council of Reeds wouldn't let him join, but will if he gets his universe back. And his plan is to turn the 616 into the Ultimate Universe.
Oh.
And if you watch the teaser, see, I should have grabbed those fucking teasers, right? Because it's like, where were you when the lights went out, right? And another teaser says,
who were you?
When the lights went out? So that's my guess. I'm going out on a limb, just because I happened to, because I wasn't even going to pick up.
See, that sounds more interesting.
Venom. That sounds dope, because who doesn't want to see the Maker kicking a bunch of ass?
Oh,
He's
I love
awesome,
the Maker,
dude.
The Maker was one of the best things about the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, man, one of the best.
Which is why
things
he's still around.
Yeah, that wasn't so overhyped that it got terrible.
Yeah, I mean, they have definitely pruned everything away that wasn't like the primo stuff from the Ultimate Universe at this point. So the fact that the Maker is even around anymore is a pretty good testament to just the strength of the character.
Exactly. So yeah, that's my guess for what the Dark Ages is. I doubt it's the Last Annihilation. It just doesn't feel like putting Doom, because Doom's like a major central part of that. Like, because he knows what the Last Annihilation is, just from reading the solicits, for Guardians of the Galaxy, and no one else really knows what it is. I mean, that's the whole reason he showed up in Guardians number 14 or 13 or whatever it was, because he knows some big bad's coming. So. But yeah, Last Annihilation. Finally, from Marvel, a new Miss Marvel series.
That's good.
This fall. Yeah. Samira Ahmed, who wrote Love, Hate, and Other Filters, Internment, and Bad, Dead, and Dangerous to Know, and the Runaways artist Andres Genolet will be taking over Kamala Khan's newest adventure, starting in Miss Marvel Beyond the Limit this September. I think this is probably an ongoing, but no word yet, about any of that. This actually reminds me, because Saladin Ahmed was writing Miss Marvel for a while, and then he moved over to the Ultimate Spider-Man book, the Miles Morales.
He was doing both
book.
at the same time.
He might, be able to jump into that ASM role pretty easy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe he'd be a pretty cool choice.
Yeah. He wouldn't be
I really loved his Black Bolt stuff from a couple years ago.
Oh my!
His stuff with Miss Marvel was pretty solid.
Gosh, that was so good. Yeah, that was.
It was more of a Crusher Creed book than a Black Bolt.
I thought it was better.
True, but
I thought it was. Black Bolt's boring. He just kind of is. He's like the droopy king, the sad king. And that's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not taking anything away from him.
Black Bolt is like a Shakespearean character.
Yeah,
he's like a cool, imposing figure, but not much of a personality,
Yeah, I mean, his coolest thing is he whispers and you die. That's not taken away from him. That's rad.
When it's not really his book, when we don't get internal monologues from him, he literally can't have a personality because he can't talk.
Yeah. Yeah. I do miss that there's no Inhumans book. The Inhumans thing was terrible because it screwed up the X-Men.
That's
I
the reason
still
they were
like
pushing the
Inhumans,
Inhumans
though.
so
It was
hard for so
alright.
many years was that they were trying to like basically bury the X-Men because they didn't have
So
a
much so
license
that they
for
made
it.
an event out of it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Finally, in news before we get into the new segments, DC Connect is back. This is like the previews book for DC. When it was still at Diamond, they did it. So then when they left was really not a big plan. It went all digital. So now it is coming back June 29th for September books. I love these things. It's the
So
best
DC's coming back to Diamond?
No, they're just bringing back their
No.
previews.
Oh,
their
okay.
preview. Yeah, they're just
Okay.
bringing back their previews book. So look for that in comic shops everywhere. All right, now let's get into this shit. This is what we've been waiting on. I mean, I got so many picks from this book. I might well have every page. It was so good. I mean, what else do you do at a big, diplomatic dinner than create an entire or
Then colonize
terraform an entire
Mars.
planet?
Yeah, we have terraformed, claimed, and colonized Mars.
All right. Yeah, all by like dessert, Planet Size X-Men #1, Jerry Duggan, Pepe Larraz. I don't even know if I should go through step by step of what's going on here, but
I will say first, right off the bat, this is the
Yeah.
creative team for the new X book, and if this is the quality going forward, I can't wait.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, this was
think I'm
one
on
hell of an opening salvo for
Yeah.
their upcoming X-Men run.
So
Yeah.
basically, we'll get into some specifics because this is really what we should talk about because this is all of our top threes, I'm sure. So that'll save some time. Magneto and a team of Omega level mutants use a diplomatic dinner as the backdrop for the most impressive and significant action in the history of the X-Men, the Marvel Universe, and perhaps all of comics. Yeah, I'm going that far. Dude, this is going to go down as one of those oh shit moments.
Oh, yeah.
Years from now,
but-
people will talk about how the X-Men, in the course of like half a day, basically terraformed and took over an entire planet.
This is definitely a landmark issue,
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You think of like the anatomy lesson with Swamp Thing. You're gonna think of
Yes.
that planet-sized X-Men where they fucking terraformed the planet.
I really think that's the case, dude. This is a huge moment. So anyway, it's Magneto, Iceman, Elixir, in case anyone gets hurt, and also heals the planet, which was pretty dope.
Elixir played a big role. Yeah, his power isn't healing. His power is like biokinesis. So he was able to like bring back life to Mars on like a planetary scale, alongside some of these Iraqi mutants that were being introduced.
Yeah, I've got those.
Well,
too,
their
man.
whole thing right now is this is the ultimate display of the circuit, which is what the mutants have been hyping, especially in New Mutants.
Nice.
Where all the mutants they combine their powers, like the fastball special.
Yeah.
So you create something different,
Yeah,
and
the
before
six,
and before it's been bringing mutants back to life, resurrection. That was that was the big thing. But now we see the mutants have powers to literally create worlds.
Yeah. So again, I mean, these powers. It doesn't really.
The Genesis affect the world.
Storm was there, Quentin Quire, Monarch, Jean Grey, Exodus, and others. They terraform Mars, and you don't even really need to know much about who these characters are. You don't need to have read anything else. You could read this and be like, yeah, I could see how Magneto, Iceman, Elixir, Hope, Quentin Quire, Monarch, Storm, and all these others could literally create or terraform this planet. I loved this, how Captain America sort of brings up that he goes to visit Scott, at the mansion because, Captain America's just traditional like that. And I loved that. I thought that was a nice little, note there showing that Duggan knows who Cap is. But Captain America brings up the Araco problem. You've got 5 million more mutants now. You're a problem. And I don't think it's...
Well, the Araco mutants have been going around and like smacking heads around, apparently. So.
Yeah, they have been.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen it in like Children of the Atom. It's been happening. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it is, a problem for humanity, right? It's going to put them even further back on their heels. But this was certainly not something that Xavier and Moira planned for. having 5 million more mutants, this was sort of a necessity, for them to go to Mars. Here's another cool moment. I think it was also a necessity for them to go to Mars because of the plants, the drugs. Now they have built-in, protection.
Oh, well, definitely, because they lost in the first issue of X Corp. They lost their farms at Savage Land.
Yeah, when M decided to blow it all up.
Yeah.
Well, they lost them because of political bickering, and by moving it to Mars now, that is a non-issue. It's irrelevant. The company claims and everything else like that, because no one gets to try to bully them or go through backroom channels on another fucking planet,
And even if they try, even if there is some corporation on Earth, human corporation, that has the money to go up there.
What real action can they do?
You can't do nothing against a planet full of Araco mutants. You ain't doing, dude. All right, we'll get to how badass the Araki are in just a minute, but I like this little moment. They're talking about bringing in Legion, and Magneto's like, I don't trust Legion yet. I thought that was a nice little tie-in to Way of X. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice little note.
And it is also kind of interesting here, the two strongest mutants, Legion and Franklin, weren't even involved in all this. Although
I loved how he dismissed Franklin. We don't need another pretender here.
And he's referring to Scarlet Witch, dude. He's got intimate relationship with that whole sort of thing, and he's moved on. And I really like that.
Yeah. Although it is worth pointing out that Franklin probably could have just done the whole thing by himself. But
if he had his powers, he doesn't have his power down. And there's another angle to that too, that hasn't come out. So I'm excited to see what that is, eventually. This was a cool moment with the cape. Magneto went to ask Monarch for help, and he was, I'm not kidding.
Oh yeah, that's a great callback to Sinister,
dude. Yes, I mean that's just those those tiny little notes. It's like a reward, for people who have been paying attention.
If you've been along for the ride this whole time, there are these constant nods to things that are going on in different books. Not big, overt things, but these little tiny things here and there that really make for a fun read, that really reward you for having stuck around this whole time.
Yeah, totally agreed. And then he does need some help from some of the
I do like this. Yeah, we get to actually see some Iraqi mutants, which I think has been a real something that they've really dropped the ball with ever since
they've been missing that. Yeah, I was talking with a guy, I'm not even sure if he streams anymore, but my buddy Drew from over there at the Comic Core. I don't even know if he's there anymore. I need to talk to him about that. But yeah, he said the same thing. He's like, man, this is some of the most exciting freaking shit they have done is add 5 million more mutants at once, and we're not getting to meet any of them.
How many months has it been since Ten of Swords ended? It's been
it's been a while.
6,
we've just saw Iska again.
Yeah.
But she was a main one of them. Yeah. And you haven't seen Bay at all? And she's married to one of them.
Well, she was in one of the issues. Oh, she was in the
new one issue of New Mutants.
She was in New Mutants this week, but you're right that it has been very sparing, her appearances.
There's a nod in here, and I'll get to it, in Planet, that it's only been 2 weeks since Ten of Swords in continuity.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute, but let's talk about
sliding time scale and all that.
Exactly, exactly. Lactuca, which actually means lettuce in Latin. Sabunar of the Depths, and Xylo, the first defender of this broken land. Now, basically, and this is some weird ass shit. All right, Lactuca knows where literally everything is. So if you lose your keys, you don't know where your phone is, he's the dude to call. But he also knows down to the precise point where Araka was. I guess that was his part of it, to teleport it.
Yeah.
What did he do? He just knew
he knew when and how to, the perfect positioning was to teleport a whole fucking city to Mars.
Yeah. Sabunar of the Depths has an entire ocean ecosystem inside his body.
Right, he basically just throws up an ocean.
Yeah, he takes a whiz in the ocean. Have you ever seen Prometheus? Remember when he drank that shit and then, life?
Yeah, but he doesn't die
really
into the ocean, though.
Yeah. He's also got a great line about, the ocean. Jump in if you're not a coward or whatever. I love that. And then Xylo, the first defender of this broken land. Now, his was a little bit more, complicated. I guess
they didn't define his power as much as the other two.
It felt to me like he did the same kind of thing that Sabunar did, only he did it with the land. Like,
well, he like turned into like a bunch of worm monsters. It was weird.
Yeah, and Elixir helped too. You know, so yeah, that was. But that's what I took it as. Like,
as far as I could tell, he tilled the land, and then like Elixir filled it with like microorganisms, or at least like boosted them or something.
Yeah. And Magneto is sure to say here, I'm not surprised the gifts I need are all within your Great Ring. The Great Ring is like the Quiet Council. And the Great Ring, the only rule, you have to be an Omega level mutant. So, again, and I waited till now to say this whole planet thing, they've made a big deal about how important it is to have Omega level mutants. You know, this shows why. This shows just how amazing mutants are, man.
Yeah, this was a hell of a flex. This was literal godlike action. This is them creating a world. This is, in a very real sense, biblical.
Well, they can do anything. You know? I want a Mars book now.
You probably go.
That we do. We need a Rocco book.
I mean,
we need a Planet of Rocco book.
Yeah, I'm sure Gray Dugan is going to be spending a lot of time on Mars in his X-Men run. But yeah, it would be interesting to get like a Iraqi only book, you know?
Yeah. And we'll get to, you know, what more is going on there. But I love the symbolism here. This is the most advanced piece of technology that humanity has ever put on Mars. And it's washed away by storm. You know, I love the symbolism there. I think that's just rad. Moving on. More planet. They build this is them transporting all of, you know, Arakko and all the citizens to Mars. And I just like the art, man.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy good. It's crazy good. And then this is the, you know, the island now on the surface of Mars. And this is it. For the second time in as many weeks, Arakko is uprooted. So the last time it was uprooted was at the end of Ten of Swords. So in continuity, it's only been 14 days or so. Crazy. Dude, that's crazy, man. That so much has happened. So much has happened. And then this is a big deal. This is like the spaceport, okay? I don't even remember what the fuck they called it, man.
It's epic as fuck. Look,
Port Prometheus, I think. Dude.
Yeah. Well, that's Port Prometheus, but this is more of like the diplomatic area.
This book gave us a map of Mars.
Oh yeah, I've got that too.
I'm a sucker for any maps.
Yeah. But I think this is interesting that it's Storm walking alone into this sort of, you know, area. Magneto is there to meet her, but I think it would be really cool to see a book about the Soul spaceport. You know, is Soul becoming like this? You know what I mean? Like it's really busy out in space now in our solar system in this book. So I'm interested in that. This was cool. You know, showing off APOC and Genesis. I'm not sure what it means. Are they dead? Are they gone?
It's the Valley of the Fallen, whatever that means.
Yeah. So I'm wondering what's up with that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Very reminiscent of that scene from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. We got more here with. This is Monarch's brain again. I just love the art.
Jean and Quentin's powers on display in kind of a more visceral way than usual.
Yeah, they actually compel him to give birth to a space station, and he does literally. Luckily, Elixir's there to fix up his tummy. Jean's there to lift the space station at first, and then Magneto tosses it into orbit, and just like that.
There's a new Sword space station.
What the hell? There's a new Sword space station. It's nuts,
we know
dude.
This is we know now why Sword is considered one of the like must-read parts of the Hellfire Gala, because I'm sure they have a lot of shit to talk about next week.
Dude. Yeah, it's going to be insane. And this is the aforementioned Port Prometheus that, again, Monarch was like, oh, you want a Port Prometheus? Here you go. Here's one of those too. And this is going to be like where you can go. You know, this is like the airport for the planet.
The Tashi
Arakko.
Station, the Mos Eisley
Tashi Station. Get your power converters. Have a good time. I love this too. This is actually another rover up here in the top panel, and they're standing on it, you know, while they watch the fireworks. It's just, I mean, it's the biggest kick to the balls that humanity has probably ever had, dude.
Oh, definitely.
You know, in terms of the X-Men and all that shit, and there's literally nothing they can do. Here was one of the infographics, which I love. The first mutant world, attempt no landing except at Port Prometheus, the capital of the solar system, and then the region of Sol. Who I don't think they've said who the region of Sol is.
No, they haven't announced it yet. But
that's why I showed that.
This is kind of reminiscent of like the end of 2001 or 2010.
Yeah, that's
where the aliens give the message, "Don't land on this planet."
Yeah, that's why I showed this with Storm. I really think that would be a cool gig for her, the region of Sol of the whole damn planet. And then here's the dope map of Mars. Because what? That's rad.
Is this all Mars? This like just one supercontinent and one island?
Yeah, this is most. I mean, it's hard to tell.
They created an ocean, and this is just like, I guess, the habitated area around that lake that they created. Yeah, that's a Rocco up there in the top, right? Just like sitting in the middle of the lake.
Yeah, with all the top of here with the 4 diamonds on it, and then the fields are right over here, like by the port, and yeah, I mean, it's just like the other maps that they shown you here. But you put a map in any damn thing, and I'm sold. You know, I love a map. So, in the opener to this new status quo, it was the dawn of X. This is definitely a big signifier that this part is the reign of X.
Oh, definitely. The mutants are flexing hard.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude, but so good. But overall, the main gripe I keep hearing about this is all kinds of stuff keeps happening, but nothing is actually happening.
Well, it's still Hickman setting the board.
Yeah.
And eventually we'll get to the point where things start blowing up.
Yeah. It's been setting the board for a while.
It has been, but it's been, I've been enjoying the gradual increase.
I mean,
the journey's cool.
It's been ramping up to this.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you're having fun, if you're enjoying yourself, who cares? You know?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
And you know,
I'm buying an entire line of X books that I've never bought before in my life.
Right.
And they are by far the best ongoing continuity that you could be reading right now.
I mean, if you had told me 5 years ago I'd be picking up this many X books, I would have called you crazy.
Yeah.
You told me 2 years ago I'd be reading X-Men
Exactly, dude. Another angle to that, the flip side of that coin is, the journey is great. You know, I'm loving everything getting to where we're eventually going to be. But Jonathan Hickman's creating what we're eventually going to get. And I know it's going to pay off because everything else he's ever done has paid off for me. So I got faith and confidence in the creator. New Mutants, where not much happened.
I didn't read this one. I only read Planet Size X-Men.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on
here. So this one is a little weird. A lot of it is just Warlock being sad because he doesn't have a best friend anymore.
Yeah, he's a third wheel. And dude, if it's only been literally, if it's only been 2 weeks since the end of Ten of Swords, back off a little bit, Warlock. Give your man some space to be with his old lady for a minute. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But yeah, this was mostly just character moments in this book, and I did enjoy them for what it was. I especially like Karma dunking on that Jared Leto looking guy.
Yeah, that was cool. Yep.
Yeah, I feel the only thing of consequence that happened here is that maybe Scout is dead.
Yeah, I mean, death doesn't really matter anymore, but yeah.
Well, it does to Scout because Scout does not have backups because Scout is not a mutant. Scout is a clone.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Earlier in this book,
so she might be dead.
Yeah, Scout was questioning the people around, like, do I count? Do I get put on the queue? And so this is one of the few characters where this could actually matter. She's one of the few characters who doesn't have a guaranteed get out of death free card.
That sucks. Damn, Tom Taylor should be pissed. He created the character.
I don't think Scout's gone for good.
I doubt
she may not even be dead there. You know, she's got an amazing healing factor.
Isn't this like a callback?
I really enjoyed the letter at the end of this that Laura, that she wrote to Laura. I thought that was a nice bittersweet moment for that.
And
for the end of the book.
You're not going to understand what that even means if you don't understand the concepts of the vault, which they never went over in New Mutants. But I understood it perfectly, and it did. It really worked. David, what were you saying? Is this
okay? I didn't read this, but does her death have some connection to those plants that are at the gala too? The people who are turning into plant creatures?
Oh, possibly.
That,
no.
I mean,
it has
I don't
to do
know.
with the Shadow King. The Shadow King
killed her. If anyone, this is all like in-house stuff from the New Mutants title.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love this spread particularly where Warlock's just mingling, hanging out. I love that. It was very well done.
I like Danny and him like going between all the different groups here. Like we got the Avengers. I think I saw Doom there in the corner, but they didn't talk to him, which why would they? But
yeah, very well done. Then that was by Vita Ayala and Alex Lins. Moving on to X-Corp #2 by Tini Howard and Albert Foshi.
This book is slow, man.
Boring, man.
It was okay, but it was definitely the weakest entry from the X books this week.
I love how Layla got a mention here, Layla Miller, because I'm just a big fan of her and her relationship.
I like Multiple Man, and I like him in this book, but I don't know.
He's comic relief, and I hate it.
He's comic relief, but he's not comic relief enough.
Yeah.
They need to pick a lane with him. Either he needs to be comic relief, or he needs to be a serious character. They need to pick one or the other.
Exactly. I mean, the X-Corp, I picked this because I wanted to see a better image of the big X-Corp island. I think that's dope. I think that's, I mean, the real estate that the mutants have racked up is mind-boggling. They don't even have the Savage Land anymore, and that was one of the coolest places they had, but it's like, I mean, they got a whole planet now. Braddock Island. They got the Marauders Island, whatever the hell, in McKines, or whatever the hell you say it, where the gala's going on. It's so awesome. But the big gist of this is they picked Mastermind as their CXO.
Yep. Mastermind had some cool moments in this where he did some like illusions and stuff.
I don't remember seeing him in all the new Krakoa stuff since they started that up. But it was interesting to see him make a return appearance here.
Where was he? He was hanging out somewhere.
He might have been hanging out somewhere, but I honestly can't remember if I even saw him at all. And if I did, it wasn't memorable.
Yeah, what was the book where him in Arcade? Was it him in Arcade doing something? No, that was Hellions.
Hellions.
Was that him in Arcade? Was
Maybe.
That Mastermind?
Maybe, I don't know.
I know it was some, memory.
That's the problem with having these many X books. It's hard to remember all this shit.
I couldn't answer that for you. I'm not reading it.
Yeah. Next week we got Sword #6, which, man, I cannot wait, especially on the heels of what we just had happen.
I would have been looking forward to this book anyway because it's been great so far, but especially like with how this ties directly into the fucking Sword.
This is a huge status quo change. They had to address so many things.
Dude, I guarantee you Abigail Brand's going to be like, damn, I wish you'd have told me you were going to do a whole new space station. She's going to bitch.
God damn it, you
bitch
happy
my job. It, you know what I mean?
Abigail fucking Brand would orbital strike this new place if they didn't tell her first,
Right. See, and there's so much potential there, right? Because Arakko is going to want their own people on their Sword space station, right?
You would imagine so.
You would imagine that opens things up for Abigail and us to see all these new Araki mutants. There's a lot of potential, and I hope they go in that direction. And Way of X #3, which is a great book.
It is.
It's a great book.
Nightcrawler's been in the background a lot of these gala books.
He has been
like
He's
shit
been popping in and out.
It'll be interesting to see things from his perspective this time.
Yeah, I love how he's getting hammered. They're gonna. I don't have the preview, but they do sort of,
drunk teleporting.
Yeah, he's drunk and he kind of gets mad at himself for getting so hammered. So, man, if you'd have told me that Jerry fucking Dugan was gonna write the best X book of the year, I'd have been like, you're dumb, you're stupid, this is Jonathan Hickman's
Nah, man,
baby.
he deserves it.
He's been doing a good job with his books, but yeah, he really knocked it out of the fucking park with this one.
Killed it, dude. Killed it. Let's get into Heroes Reborn real quick. All right, technically this is the final issue of Heroes Reborn #7. We still get Heroes Return, which is sort of the
it's the real end.
Yeah, it's the real end.
I mean, this issue did nothing but tee up that issue, so
exactly.
There's honestly not much to talk about from this week.
There's not. Dude.
No, not really. The team gets together and you see a bunch of flashbacks from events that happen in their universe.
Yeah,
that's really all.
And that's really all that happens. And at the end, the Avengers show up.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun. Like, it was enjoyable watching like the squadron go around, like, sussing out what the Avengers have been up to. And yeah, these
it was
like
cool
not
seeing the different events through that universe.
Yeah, that was fun. But
Groot,
not much actually happens here. The status quo moved forward like a foot from like where we left off with last time. Like, we went from like, we need to figure out about the Avengers. Oh, here they are. That's pretty much all that happened, like, plot wise in this book.
I like the Nick Fury is like in the
President
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah,
I like and that's all this was. Hey, flashing back to what had happened. But I think we did get
the Phil Coulson part at the end was cool.
Yeah. See, is it Mephisto? Yes. Is it not Mephisto?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not Mephisto.
No, it's Coulson. Mephisto.
But no, it's Coulson in this.
Also, that's how Mephisto works, though.
With the devil dog.
Exactly.
Like, Mephisto doesn't do things himself. He gets other people to do shit for him.
That's
how
he works. To do that for him. It's for the help to use the What do they call this? It's not the cosmic cube. It's
he has to pervert.
Hold on, I got it here. It's like the pandemonium cube or something.
Yeah,
I don't have it written down for some reason. That's stupid.
Whatever.
But yeah, he's a devil worshiper for sure. Phil Coulson.
Oh hell yeah!
Satanic Panic. And then finally, Wolverine and Final Flight, Ed Bryson, Roland Bochy. This was fun as hell.
I thought this was a cool issue.
I thought this was a lot better than the Heroes Reborn issue.
Yeah, me too.
I agree.
Or Heroes Rebirth.
In where Sasquatch is an actual monster. Flips on the team. I loved all the political shit here where the United States is invading and annexing Canada. I love that shit. So
yeah. I mean, this was basically like another showcase of what pieces of shit the Squadron.
Oh yeah,
Squadron
but man, Wolverine accidentally killing Hyperion because he doesn't know magic can hurt the dude was just awesome. It was cool.
I loved it.
Slicing his throat.
So yeah, like Wolverine is like this universe's version of Doomsday, basically.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fun.
We had a whole Death and Return of Hyperion.
What PC pastiche do you think this is? I was going with like Doom Patrol, maybe, or something like that. Yeah.
They got a robot.
It kind of works like that.
Maybe Justice League Dark.
Maybe, but I don't know. There wasn't a lot of dark stuff in this. Like Wolverine did have magic claws, but that wasn't really like a focal point of the book or anything.
Yeah, I was hoping for more of like a Justice Society sort of thing for Canada. You know what I mean? Sort of mirrored that way. But this worked for me in terms of the Alpha Flight, Final Flight thing. Sasquatch, did he do the right thing or did he do the wrong thing?
Only time will tell.
Who knows?
Sacrificing Wolverine to save all of these other people.
I mean,
I know.
Continuity's getting reset next week. So
and what they do to Wolverine at the end. What they do to Wolverine at the end is
they
savage.
throw him on the moon.
I mean, shit. They basically leave
somewhere.
him to like suffocate on like some abandoned planet in the middle of fucking nowhere space. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love how like Prism is like, yeah, you'll probably die in a little bit, or you won't, and you'll just suffer for all eternity. And he's like, he's okay with it.
Either way, it's cool for me.
Yeah.
We do get Heroes Return next week. Now, you said, hey, all this is over, and the continuity is going to be reset. No doubt. There's absolutely no reason that they cannot revisit.
Oh no! If anything out of this universe hits, they could totally bring it back whenever they want.
I would love to see. I would love to see more from this universe, from this alternate history. You know what I mean? I would really, really dig that. I think that would be dope.
I'd like to see Dr. Spectrum do something in the mainline DC universe. That xenophobic bastard.
Yeah, I mean, are they really like that in the world that Coulson didn't manipulate though?
I have no idea.
Bigoted and
they never spent any actual time with the Squadron before.
Sure.
I mean,
because I love Hyperion.
Like the old Avengers books, where like the Squadron Supreme was like first appearing, they were more overtly
I liked him when he had
evil.
Yeah,
but in a lot of ways, they were less reprehensible than like these like guys who were like assholes pretending to be good guys.
Right?
Yeah, you remember when Hyperion was just a bro with Thor, and they were just hanging out in the Savage Land?
That's my favorite Hyperion.
I missed that Hyperion. That was a fun Hyperion.
I missed that.
They had a great bromance.
They did.
Hey, we should do top 5 bromances sometime. That would be
for sure. Yeah, man, I was just talking with my kid about this the other day, man, about best bromances. I can't remember Which one we talked about? Oh, there's Eli. Thanks, Eli. Wolverine referring to Shaman's magic as voodoo. Yeah, no shit.
Well, Wolverine doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, that's more Loki's ignorance, I think. Then
I'm sure you meant Logan's ignorance.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about Loki. Let's do Loki.
Let's do
episode
Loki.
2. Episode 2, the variant. This is basically because the first episode sort of, had to give you a lot of exposition, had to do a lot of explaining and setup. This episode was basically like a police procedural.
It was a little bit more detective work going on in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, there really isn't much to go on here other than the big reveal at the end that there
I got
is.
The big reveal right here.
There is a female Loki. Yeah,
there's a woman Loki from. We're not really sure. She's another variant, but if the TVA is not to be trusted, or if they themselves are just unreliable narrators because they have been lied to by whoever is actually in charge, she may be from a different timeline altogether. She may be from, who knows?
She may be. She could be from one of those timelines before they merged into one.
Who knows?
They've been referring to her as a variant the whole time. So until we know more, let's just roll with that for now.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do, too. By the end of it, she uses all of these bombs that the TVA themselves have been using to sort of reset to keep the timeline, in shape. She had these teleported all throughout the timeline, all over the place, and basically breaks the one true timeline.
What's going on in Cookville?
Yeah, I don't know. It says Cookville, USA, but it doesn't give a zip code or anything. So
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's in the Middle Tennessee area. I don't think it matters. But yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going to go on there. So still haven't watched episode 2 yet. Yeah, you should watch it, Eli. It's good. Man, I got to say, Loki was the show that I was most hyped for when all of these shows were announced. Okay. But WandaVision, by this time in WandaVision, by episode 2 of WandaVision, dude, I couldn't wait for episode 3. I was chomping at the bit. Same thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier. It had just built itself up. I think that first episode of Loki really slowed it down. It had to explain a lot. And it's taken me a little bit longer, to really get in, to Loki a little bit. I don't know.
I still really like it.
I did.
It's a really easy watch. It's a great.
I'm having a great
time. I'm still really enjoying Loki and Mobius's dynamic that they got going. They got a great buddy cop vibe.
It is. This is buddy time cop. It's buddy time cop in the MCU. It really is.
And it is kind of interesting seeing Mobius continues to be they're kind of having a chess game going, as it were. Loki's trying to bamboozle Mobius, but Mobius still seems to be a step ahead of him as far as we know. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I also like Mobius's reactions and interactions, I guess, with everybody else in defense of Loki.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It seems like because they in the first episode they showed all these different variants of Loki that they've dealt with over all this time. But it seems like Mobius is maybe the guy they've always sent to go get Loki. You know what I mean?
So he's a little bit more familiar.
There's got to be another angle there. Why is he fighting so hard Loki?
Do you want to hear my theory about Mobius?
Yes, that's what this show does.
What if he's a Loki variant himself?
Yes. I was thinking something like that.
That would be so cool, dude. That would be so awesome. That would be so great. But yeah, man, there's got to be another angle there. You know what I mean? There's no. Why else would he be defending?
I'm sure we'll see. How many episodes are we getting of this?
I think it's only 6 or 8.
Ooh, wow!
It's not that many, dude. It's not.
Well, the most they've done so far is 8, right?
Yeah, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier was 8, right?
I think that's what WandaVision was, at least.
That was WandaVision.
Those were only
Falcon and Winter Soldier was only 6.
Though, man.
Falcon and Winter Soldier was they were all an hour, and that was 6, I think.
Yeah, I think this is the same thing. So yeah, enjoy it while it's here, man. But after that, we get What If. I'm pretty sure it's right after.
I prefer this than the old Netflix strategy of 13 episodes all the time, and then you get 3 or 4 episodes in the middle where literally nothing happens.
Just filler.
Yeah.
you can't make a good Punisher show where he's, banging his best friend's old lady. It's just weird. Hi, thanks for stopping by, the Ninja. Really appreciate it. Tell your friends. But yeah, I didn't like the Punisher Netflix thing, and I think that's why.
I think that was the one I didn't watch.
They couldn't focus, So yeah, we'll talk about Loki again next week. At the end of this, the new Loki, the woman Loki for the other variant, gets away with everything and escapes. And Loki follows her through the portal, and now it's going to open, I guess, with them talking about what was going on. Yeah, it was a good episode, good acting. I mean, there weren't any big surprises. We kind of knew that.
Yeah, it did gift us with a meme, though. Like, the whole jet ski thing has basically created a meme where, like, anything from the 90s fits that template now.
It's my favorite meme. Have you seen it? Have you seen the one on Beast Wars?
Yeah, I saw the one on Beast Wars.
I love that. Yeah, dude.
I saw one for the PlayStation, and I'm sure we're going to get countless things from the 90s that fit that template.
Dude, the other meme that I saw was the one where Loki swings the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Oh, I also saw that one where like it's Marty McFly being escorted to GBA headquarters.
That's so dumb, dude. It's so stupid. All right, we're going way long. Let's get into food.
Yummy.
Real quick food news. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is having cookies and cinnamon rolls. All right,
I will try.
It's about damn time.
Yeah, this seems like low-hanging fruit to me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Very low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, this is like Zombie Bush.
This is one of those food news things you share where this actually does look kind of good. I mean, it's always even odds whether you're going to give us like an abomination.
I'll look out for this thing.
I know. The other one I had was fruit cereal flavored Kit Kats, and I was like, it might be good.
Hey,
but
what kind of cereals?
This one's better. What are you gonna eat Kit Kats for fucking breakfast? That sounds nasty.
Well, I like Kit Kat. I might try
Fruity
that.
Kit Kats might be interesting. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
This is much better.
They made the right call for sure.
They have in Japan, they have like 50 different flavors of Kit Kats, and some of them are actually really good. There's a strawberry Kit Kat.
There's like a wasabi flavor, wasabi.
And then there's a hazelnut, and there's one that I don't even know, but it's super delicious.
If you go to there's some like stores that'll get that shit for you. You know what I mean? Throw some Fruity Pebbles on them rolls.
That would be great.
And you can eat the dough, the cookie dough raw. It is safe to eat raw cookie dough.
Oh, is it? Oh,
really?
It's my favorite kind of cookie dough because I'm lazy as hell. 2 for $5 on the 12 big cookies, and 2 for $5 as well on 8 cinnamon rolls. So
that's a pretty good deal.
Should be in grocery stores.
Not bad.
Yeah, thank you guys. Finally, I'm winning it.
You finally picked a good one.
Podcasting thing. Let's do a quick moment.
Very quick moment.
Yeah, despite the fact that they continually tell us that they hate us, we're going to continue to review the Transformers comics. Transformers Escape number 4, Brian Ruckley, Bethany McGuire-Smith, who must have not gotten paid very much for this issue. I'll show you in a minute.
No, must not have.
There you go right there. Here's an example of her art.
Very rushed.
This girl can draw. Okay,
she can.
I don't know what the hell this is.
This is just rushing.
This is rushed, or this is
because there are some other panels in
IDW
this that look really great.
A good page rate. Something is wrong here, dude.
I don't know. Absolutely nothing happens in this issue.
Nothing happens in this issue. It feels lazy. It feels rushed. It's quite possible that this is more indicative of what IDW thinks about the Transformers right now.
They did it to themselves.
Yeah, basically the story of this is there's some Transformers because the war is popping off. They're trying to get the organics off the planet. And they're just talking to themselves and feeling sorry for themselves and feeling bad. The Insecticon swarm, which is kind of happening in the background, is spectacular storytelling. I want to see more of that, but it's not happening.
No, it's not happening. It's all happening in the background.
Yeah.
It's all happening to side characters that you only get like a panel or two of it happening. Yeah. And then in the end, the swarm finally shows up, and Die Atlas, who's been standing around since issue 2 doing absolutely nothing, finally draws his sword out. So I guess next issue, something is going to happen. See, See,
it's
this
the
is the problem.
Next issue is the last issue, so something better.
Well, I know. So this is the problem with all of Brian Reckley's stuff. If this was just like an annual, if this story was just an annual, it would have been probably really cool.
Because he'd have rushed through it, and it would have been great.
Right. You would have gotten the first issue, the last issue, because you don't need all that shit in the middle, and it would have worked. You know, probably would have been a really cool little story. But since this is a 5-issue, arc, it's really stretched out, and man. It's just boring, not. There's nothing there, man. It's boring.
I did notice this on the back cover of the Transformers comics. It has like this little silhouette.
Oh yeah, they've had. I will say the design for the Transformers comics ever since the relaunch has been great.
This is the one for Escape, though.
Yes,
that's rad.
all of them have been different.
Yes.
And on every arc, it's been a little bit different.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting stuff. But I don't know who the hell's getting paid for design. So. I don't even know if there is any TF next week. I didn't even look. So if there is, we'll talk about it. If not, let's do top 3. Cool. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, good.
All right, some honorable mentions. We'll throw out, first off, Demon Days, Mariko #1.
It was cool.
Peach Momoko. The story was a very boilerplate story that I've read a billion times before, but I was there for that Peach Momoko art, and it didn't let me down.
It's very good. I got an issue, yes.
Yep, Weapon X and Final Flight. That was just a cool little Elseworld story. And then The Flash, 771. I'm really digging this new Flash run.
Yeah, he's still...
Yeah, he's still hopping around through. Now they've realized he's not just hopping around through time; he's hopping around through the Omniverse.
Oh my God! They seriously?
He showed up in like the old Super Friends cartoon. Is how they
he drops into the old Super Friends cartoon as the Reverse Flash, as they're voting on whether or not they want to let him into the Legion of Doom.
But wasn't that Omniverse and Flash? Wasn't that like the whole shit with Manhattan and all? You know, when he had Manhattan's powers or whatever.
They seem to be ignoring that. They seem to be acknowledging that as little as possible. They are acknowledging
for good reason. For good reason.
Heroes.
They are. Yeah, they are Heroes in Crisis. They are acknowledging though, because he hops around a bunch through a whole bunch of realities. It seems like they're getting to the end of this. Because they kind of do a little montage where they show just a bunch of realities. They don't really spend any time on them. So you just see little snapshots. But then in the end, he ends up right in Heroes of Crisis in his own body as everybody's dying, basically.
At the end of that
leaping, man.
Right.
So wait, are they going to retcon Heroes in Crisis?
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out in the annual that comes out.
I am actually really conflicted about whether or not I want them to retcon that. Because it was a shitty character assassination for Wally West, but it would also be really cheap for them to just like erase it from existence too.
Right.
I get what everyone says about how it sort of shits on Wally West. I get it. I think the story is bigger than Wally, and
but it came on like it was a long streak. Wally having to wade through the shit there, you know? He was ignored for like 5 years.
Yeah.
What I will say about Heroes in Crisis, it has like all of these scenes where the characters are in therapy. All of those scenes are great. They're written well.
9 panel pages.
All of those are fantastic, especially like the Barbara Gordon one, where she showed off scars and all that. So it's great. Great storytelling and showing how the traumas of being a superhero. But then when they go and they shit all over Wally West, it's just like it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Make Harley the lead for some reason. You know, there were a lot of
Booster.
Yeah, I liked Booster, but they didn't really play off any of his problems. And Booster definitely has some problems.
But okay, so now my actual number 3.
Yeah, sorry. We could do a whole episode on Heroes in Crisis. Dude.
We could. Yeah. My actual number 3 is Ultra Mega number 4. I know you guys. Whatever.
This is also like my number 2.
Yeah, nice. I fucking love this book. This book is awesome. This is the end of the arc, the first arc of this book. Who knows when the second one will come out? He said it's going to take him forever to draw more of this shit.
Yeah.
But
it's like an 8-issue first arc because they're double-sized issues.
Basically,
right?
basically.
Big issues.
So the boy who was the son of the original Ultra Mega in the first issue, who died. The boy, his son, he got killed or he got mortally injured at the end of the last issue. In this one, he kind of bonds with the weird eyeball thing that gives him their powers.
The one that can take him to the source of the Ultra Mega.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Right. And they get there and they find that the source, that the main guy who like gave them their powers in the beginning in the first issue was dead.
Well, kinda.
Kind of. He looks dead. They think he's dead. And then he kind of comes back, but he has like these weird monsters. Like it was like the
kaiju maggots.
Yeah, it was like the queen laid maggots inside of this guy. And so while he's talking to him, like maggots start popping out of his face and stuff.
Really,
there's some crazy body horror in this book.
Man, you and Jules are both raving about this book.
There's this weird little. I just love what he does, playing around with like kaiju psychology and stuff. So the way these kaiju work, they only grow large when an Ultra Mega is around. Yeah. So otherwise, they're like people-sized.
Yeah,
kaiju.
They're human-sized kaiju, and when they were fighting,
makes them.
They ascend. That's when the Ultra Mega returns. They ascend and become the monster-sized kaiju.
That's pretty cool.
Right. So these guys, so the kaiju from before who killed the original Ultra Mega, they knew what it was like to be big, and now they're small. And so now they kind of have this like small little man complex.
Oh, cool.
Where they're like creating little fake cities that they can storm through.
Well, it's like
and then like, they're making their own mechas to get into.
Well, they
start destroying cities.
They hijacked that mecha that was going to be built by the humans to attack the city that's beyond the wall.
Dumb, dude.
It is, but it's great. It's great. But then the boy turns into an Ultra Mega, and they have a really big fight in the end. And it's just the art's super cool. A lot of cool body horror. If you're a kaiju fan, you'll love this book.
It's a different take on kaiju.
Definitely.
So that was Dave's number 2 as well.
Yeah.
We're gonna fly right through this, I have a feeling.
I hope so.
Yeah, we'll go around the clock, Dave.
Alrighty.
Do you have 5 honorable mentions this week?
I got 4.
I knew it.
Rapid fire, man. Go.
All right.
Rapid fire.
Weapon X and Alpha Flight. Great story. Probably better than the Heroes Reborn story.
I agree.
Nothing happened in the Heroes Reborn story.
Exactly.
Of the Heroes Reborn, this is better than the actual main event issue. Demon Days Morocco. Great artwork.
Nice.
Radiant Black. A lot of shit goes down in this book.
That's my number 3. So we'll just wait on that.
And then my final one is a new book called Save Yourself, number 1.
Yeah, I can get into this. On Boom Studios.
Yeah, Boom Studios. It is a different take on the magical girl genre, the Powerpuff Girls. What if the aliens that are attacking the cities are actually the good guys, and the Powerpuff Girls are the bad guys?
Oh, because I can get into it.
What happens during there's a monster attack in the city, and these girls show up. These Powerpuff type girls show up. And basically, one of them grabs a civilian running away from the events and just absorbs him as energy.
Rad.
And these aliens
you're veering away from rapid fire.
Yeah, you're veering.
But my number 3 pick this week is going to be Jenny Zero number 1, also another kaiju book.
Oh, fun! And you've mentioned this book before.
Yes.
How's it number 1 again?
Number 2.
Oh,
they actually my number 3 pick is this Jenny Zero number 2.
Okay.
They brought out, they actually like a week or so back, they actually put out issue 1, and it wasn't a reprint. So
yeah, it's like there was a printing problem or something.
Yeah.
In the first batch.
But Jenny Zero, she becomes kaiju size. It's things that she inherited from her father, and all these years the armed science police have pretty much just kept it suppressed with nanotech, and now that her father's dead, they need somebody to fight these kaiju that come up, and so they've deactivated her nanotech.
Oh,
and she
wow.
can turn into this giant kaiju beast.
That's
and
cool.
She's really upset because all the videos of her fighting this kaiju beast, she's naked, and she's upset about that.
Yeah,
she goes.
It sort of has this like. See, I read the first issue. It's sort of like a kaiju book, but it's like in the modern. Like she's got all of the same things that a teenager has.
It's essentially
all
Paris
the hang-ups and shit like that.
She is essentially Paris Hilton during her party girl days, And now she's been saddled with the responsibility of fighting kaiju because she is the inheritor of the power.
That's rad. Yeah. Cool, Taylor. Honorable mention.
All right. I'll also do an honorable mention for Flash 771. Fun book. Enjoy seeing Wally actually doing stuff. Honorable mention to the Mighty Valkyries #3, especially the parts where we're following Jane around. Just beautiful, jaw-dropping artwork. And honorable mention for Static Season 1 #1, which also has some really key artwork. And
great art. Holy crap. It was really good style. I really like the style in that. So, yeah, good choice on the Static.
Yeah. And my #3 is going to be Demon Days Mariko by Peach Momoko. Nice. Based entirely on the merit of her artwork here, because like Adam was saying, this is another one of those like, oh, I should have told you about your dark past.
It is so boilerplate.
It's got some mustache twirling going on, and it's like, but great art. Holy crap!
Great
art is wonderful in that book.
Yes. She has not only just like the line work with like the way she like lays out the panels and everything, great shit. And like you don't often get to appreciate how good she is at like sequencing the images, because usually we just see her doing covers. Exactly. So it is cool to see her be doing interiors here as well. Yeah. So anyway, based off of the strength of that artwork, #3. Anyway,
100%. Venom 35, but also somehow 200, and Berserker #3 were great. Man,
Berserker #3 was pretty good.
Yeah, it's finally getting into this whole Immortal Man story with some new takes, some intimate takes, on how it's impacted him, throughout.
He's not just ripping people in half.
He's questioning his purpose in life. If he's
been doing it his whole life.
He's ripping his purpose in half.
It's crazy. He's millions of years old. Anyway, Image had Home #3, Silver Coin #3, Stillwater #8, all great, but it was Radiant Black #5 that made #3. Kyle Higgins, Marcelo Costa, Eduardo Ferragato. The series gets just better with every issue, man.
Is this worth picking up the trade? Because I kind of dropped off of it after the first.
I think it is going to be worth it, dude. It's getting better every issue. It's sort of like a millennial take on Spider-Man with some Power Rangers in there. Look at this art, man, how they're fighting. This is that
looks cool.
Radiant Black and Radiant Red fighting each other.
Yeah.
And just spectacular, art here. The reveal last issue was just awesome. As shit went down.
The reveal prior to that was kind of interesting too.
The reveal in this issue was dope. There were two reveals. It was revealed that Radiant Red is actually a woman, a teenage girl. I think she's like a teenager. She's really young.
These issues are doing like the cliffhanger blitz week after or issue after issue.
Yeah, dude. And then this is your cliffhanger for this one. It's like Power Rangers. There's all kind of Radiants.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's rad. Really cool book, dude, and just great art.
And this current Radiant Black takes up the mantle from the last Radiant bout.
I almost don't want to spoil a lot of it because
David, you asshole.
No, it's okay, but Home is the same way. I could have had Home. I could have had Silver Coin was freaking awesome this fucking week, man. Oh my gosh, Stillwater still good by Chip Zdarsky, but Radiant Black, it won me over. So that's my #3.
All right.
#2.
So I guess that's me. #2, Nightwing #81.
Oh my god.
That's my #2 as well.
Yeah, Tom Taylor, so Bruno Redondo. Man, the artwork in this one is fantastic too. Redondo, man, he's
getting some better.
I think he is. It's so dynamic. Action. It flows so well.
That's what gets me, the flow, the sequential nature. It's
and the panel work is interesting.
Yes,
it is.
It's never really the same throughout it all. It's always changing and forming to whatever's going on.
Yeah. And the writing, Tom Taylor's just really hitting some of these
he's really hitting that Hawkeye vibe,
But he calls there's a point where there's a bunch of kids running to a pier and the pier is going to be bombed and they're stuck on this pier. They're going to die. And Nightwing calls out to Bloodhaven for help, and they come. You know what I mean? And when they come, all the ships have famous Nightwing.
Oh yeah, they do.
That's great little mark there. But I love that moment. You know what I mean? I also love the moment where Nightwing's terrible at his job.
He's terrible.
He should have stayed home.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that. I love Barbara's shirt. It's got the Batman slapping Robin.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Like they actually put the fucking slapping Robin meme onto a t-shirt. That was a good touch.
Tom Taylor isn't just writing a good book. Bruno Redondo isn't just drawing a good book. They're having fun.
Yeah, they are.
And it shows. And it's hard to see that sometimes in a comic.
I mean, but I love me some fun comics, and this has been a whole hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah,
100%. I mean, the artwork is great, the writing is great, and they gel really well together too.
Yeah, their Suicide Squad run was really good. So
I'll go back and check that out. I missed that one.
It's good. It's really good. Yeah. Dave, number 2.
My number 2 was Ultra Mega.
Oh, nice choice. Nice choice.
Just journey to the.
Just 2 kaiju book.
Yeah, it's been a kaiju week for me.
It's kaiju week. Taylor, number 2.
Nightwing.
Oh, awesome. My number 2, and I talked about it earlier this week, man. I read this twice. Jim Lives, The Mystery of the Lead Singer of the Doors in the 27 Club. Paolo Baron and Ernesto Carbonetti.
And the art in this looks ridiculous.
The art
I will give
it
that.
The art is ridiculous. Okay, so let me explain this real quick. The Mediterranean diet, all right, it's a real thing. It was discovered by this scientist who was studying this little town in Italy where many of the people lived to be 100 and over. So he figured that out. So the 27 Club is the name used for famous people, mostly singers, who die when they are 27. And it's a whole lot. It's a big, huge list. Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and yes, Jim Morrison, among others. So this journalist goes to Italy, to this town, to do a story about old people and, this phenomenon there. And he disappears. A month later, his dad comes to find him. And the last message that his kid left him was, I just saw Jim Morrison and I'm going to go find him. So it turns out that there's this secret organization that basically puts famous people into witness protection. And they explain it really well. Once you hit your talent peak and there's like nowhere else to go but down, why not just fake your death and live as an immortal icon instead of by chance becoming a washed up, musician? This is an original graphic novel, just really solid with great art. Look, Amy Winehouse just like waiting tables. Kurt Cobain is hanging out. Here's a picture of, Jimmy, Janis, and Jim. So, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but man, it had this great conspiracy thing to it that also had this real life, musician thing to it. The same creative team did a book called Paul is Dead. And I actually found it and went back and read it. It explores the death of Paul McCartney, who's still alive now. But there's been all this conspiracy theory forever that he died like just before they did Sgt. Pepper.
There's like a lot of clues peppered into it.
One of the records, like if you play it backwards, it says Paul is dead, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what people imagine.
They were, I think it was like Billy Spears or stuff. It's really weird stuff. I remember there was a podcast about that.
But man, I had such a fucking fun time with this book. I didn't want to make this number 2, but I was like, man, this is like one of the best things I read. I had to do it. So
that art looks great, and that is an interesting sounding idea.
It's a really cool, dude. Every other page, I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a fun way to do a comic. They didn't even mention Amy Winehouse or Kurt Cobain's name. The art is so good. There's no way to mistake
you just know
who those people are. Yeah, so the title again is Jim Lives, The Mystery of the Lead Singer of the Doors and the 27 Club. Awesome book. So we're back to number 1. Does anyone not have Planet Size X-Men?
Oh, yeah. 1. Planet Size X-Men is my number 1.
Yeah.
Mine as well.
Mine too.
There you go.
Do we have unanimous?
First consensus.
All right.
Cool.
Well, we could have had it that one week for nonstop Spider-Man if David hadn't fucked it up.
Yeah, but David wasn't here. But I mean, you don't just terraform an entire planet during a dinner party and not be number 1. Again, it's really hard for me to justify a man gave birth to a space station, and it's one of the best things I've ever fucking read. I mean, it was awesome.
Talk about body horror.
Yeah, talk about body horror for sure, man. If you explain that to anybody, they're just going to call you an idiot. They're going to think you're stupid. They really are. No, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. But yeah, man.
Well, I mean, we were talking about it earlier, but this is like the X-Men becoming like creator deities in a sense. This is like mythology, you know?
Yeah, this isn't just immortality anymore. This is being able to literally in the span of a dinner
They're moving
party,
beyond humanity.
Yeah, they're moved beyond. Dude, this has got to put them on the radar of every civilization in the galaxy.
Every galactic empire is going to take notice now.
Yeah, dude.
Thor is going to become a lot more important book going forward.
Yeah, there's a lot of awesome going on in that book. So,
Did they terraform all of Mars, or did they just terraform?
No, the whole thing.
I imagine you can't just terraform a part of Mars.
Well, they had a dome or something, but
they're only like living in like a small part, as far as I can tell. Well, there's like millions of them, so I'm sure they're spreading out a good amount. But they definitely they threw a new core into the center of Mars. Magneto did. They restarted the atmosphere, so it has weather again, like it never has for like millions of years or whatever. So it's global
they just
scale
totally
shit
recalled.
that they're doing.
They totally recalled the planet.
They totally recalled Mars.
Yep. But so much better though, so much cooler.
Yeah, there's actual green stuff on it and stuff.
Yeah, I mean they didn't just terraform it and make it ready for life. They terraformed it and built buildings and other structures.
They put infrastructure there.
They created an ocean teeming with life. You know what I mean? I mean, there's this thing. There's an infographic at the end of the book. All these NASA scientists would love to go there and see the planet. Why? It's not even a scientific thing anymore. It's literally Sabunar or whatever, this ocean guy, and due to the Earth. This is not a natural sort of thing in the way science makes things natural. This is above science. You know what I mean? And science is human. What mutants do is above that, dude. And they're really communicating that. You know what I mean? The mutants are too big for the britches. I feel bad for humanity now.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely getting to the point where they're about to tip the scales on the
a few weeks ago,
relationship.
They successfully created Nimrod, though. So
sure, you're not wrong. Yeah, you're not. So but Nimrod's got to be like, oh, damn, what'd they do?
I'm sure even Nimrod is impressed.
There's a whole planet of them now.
Yeah, right.
But the question becomes: if they can do it to Mars, can't they do it to Earth again too?
Why not? They can do this anywhere. Sure.
Yeah, they could do this anywhere. I think
they
that's
already have the power to just walk through their gates and go anywhere in the universe. And even if they didn't, Manifold could do that for them.
And just plant a tree or just plant a flower.
Yeah, Manifold can go wherever he wants and just plant one of these seeds. So yeah, they could go anywhere in the universe and do this exact same thing as much as they want.
And they may just do that. Why not have a backup?
Why not?
Why not have a backup plan in some far-off solar system? You know what I mean?
Get some galactic wars at some point here.
Well, I mean, we all read Powers of 10. We know that's where this leads, That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Who'd have thought when Armor, in the first couple of pages of House of X, that Armor planting that flower on Mars was going to lead to this? You know what I mean? Just that one simple panel of Armor. Go back and read Powers of 10
I forgot that. Man, they
or House of 10, House of X #1.
I guess they were really thinking about this the entire time, which of course they were. I mean, Hickman knows the next 5 years of this, or however long.
Hickman knew what he was doing before they even offered him the job. I bet he's known since he was a kid reading X-Men himself. He knew what he wanted to do. You know what I mean? Because this is all just spinning out of Claremont. It's all still just spinning out of Claremont mostly. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We've gone a little long, but Planet Size. It's going to be a Planet Size podcast. Go to OutrightGeekery.com. Check out everything we got. Different links for social media, all that great shit. Check out our pals, the Comic Book Bullies. They will be streaming tonight at midnight. They didn't have a show last week, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway, but they're going to go in depth in this breaking news this week about Batman and Catwoman. So definitely tune in.
Oh my God.
I love it when they talk about science. So I'm definitely going to be tuning in. We got streams going on all week long. Unfortunately, there is not a stream tomorrow because my babysitter crapped out on me. But keep coming back. Keep checking us out. We really appreciate you listening. But most of all, I appreciate these jokers for hanging out with this joker.
Well, you're welcome.
Anytime, man.
We're going to do it again next time.
Same Geek time, same Geek channel.
we did go over, but I think it was worth it. Love that book. I'm gonna go read it again. I read it like twice, and then like thumbed through it for notes. I'm definitely reading it.